All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is June 15th, 2026. My name, Coach Kerrigan, lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Captured 15K today on using 10% of my account, which happened to be about 15K. So made 100% of my risk right there for today. I did have a little bit of help. I had, before I closed on Friday, I saw the bullishness in the market and I got some protected calls. So I got a little bit of a head start this morning, having those protected calls gap up that much. That makes it easier to do 100% on your, of your risk, to capture 100% of your risk in gains. But I don't do that all the time. But that was part of the edge this morning, was that big gap up. So let's go take a look at the markets and see what we can come up with for the future here. Looking for price to pull back to minor support. I think we just about got it. What's the low there? 754.20, and I'm looking for the top of that wick, which is 754.09. You got 10 cents between the two of them, close enough, you know what I'm saying? So it's getting there, but I would like to see it just touch it, tag it and run. Not much time left. It's only about 30 minutes of time left. FNGU's having a good day, so I just want to show you the FNGU day. And look at them closing near the high of the day, well over VWAP. See that right there? They're having a great day. Big gap up and holding the higher ground. So we'll see. They may close the end of the day at the high of the day. They're going to be near it. As long as they don't melt off, but they're looking good. For the guidance this morning, let's review that for a minute. Okay, so we saw bullish activity was observed in the pre-market and post-market. Okay, so let me explain that. Okay, so as you can see from the 11th and the 12th, price moved off the bottom of the triple. We had a triple bottom here. Okay, so we had one on the 9th and on the 10th and on the 11th, okay? So we moved off the triple bottom and then over to the right. See how price holds the higher ground up there? It's not really higher ground, but from this location right here, it is higher, okay? So, and they held over VWAP. So they kind of pinned it for the options expiration Friday on the 12th. And you can see they hold right up here over the closing number. You can see the dash just barely kind of squint, but you can see it right underneath there. And then we get the gap up. And instead of giving up the gap or filling the gap after gapping up, we go straight across again. So we create a consolidation over consolidation with a big void in between, but that's bullish, holding up that high right there. So I see more bullishness like right there, and I look for price to kind of break down, and we're kind of holding the highs up here. So that's a really bullish environment for me. All right, so I was looking for maybe like a pullback to the halfway point, which would probably be, somewhere like right here or right on top of that. But we didn't even get that. We just came right out of the gate with, you had to see it on a 5-minute chart, but you can see the higher lows in those 5-minute candles leading up to the opening candle. And then the opening candle, which was this nice green one right there, rips over the top of the base. Well, first you have this base right here. So we're over that base. And then on top of that, we're over the all-time highs, which got the wrong chart. Okay, so we rip over the highs here. Okay, by the way, SPY did the same thing. Okay, I was showing you FNGU, and then here's the triple bottom. But here's, we consolidate up here, so you can see on the 5-minute chart, all those lower highs, little mini candles making lower highs, and then you can see the pop right over the top. I'm buying calls. I said it right at the beginning of the day right there. I want calls. And we start the 10-minute uptrend right there. So let's put the 10-minute chart. We're on a 5 right there, okay? And I said I would trade the breakout over 752. Well, there you go, 752. And if you followed the game plan, which was also posted in the room right there over 751.60, okay, there was a green erases red entry right there over 751.60, and you could have traded that to the upside. So let's pick it up on the 10-minute, and let's go to the clean chart. Okay, so you got the 10-minute uptrend. Notice the 8's not quite up over VWAP. That's because it moved way up, but if you'd have taken out all the pre-market, it would be definitely up over VWAP there. So you got a 10-minute uptrend, all right, and you can see the 3 and the sticks riding up over the 8, and that stays intact till about 1:30 right there, and then they begin to roll over and do a pullback to the VWAP area, hopefully checking this minor support area, this little hump right there that got us going this morning, and then hopefully they bounce off of that and get bullish. What's the low of that candle? Yeah, they're getting close, 754.13, and like I said, that was 754.09. Okay, so they're getting close. Just need to tag it and then start a 5-minute, 3-minute uptrend after doing that. So they're melting off right there. So you can see the picture of money, all right? And everybody in the room here knows the picture of money here is the ADMA on the 10-minute chart and the VWAP just begin to separate. The distance between them gets wider and wider, okay? So you had several confirming factors. You had the picture of money. You had the breakout over the base. You had, again, the game plan that was posted up in the room there. And then we also had, if you look at the MACD, not the MACD, the PPO, you can see right after we get over this little hump right here, so right about there, you can see we've got PPO up there, 0.06. Okay, so I like 0.06 or better, and you can see the PPO starts to climb. We got 0.06 as a high there, 0.06, 0.07 is a high there, 0.07 is a high there, 0.08 is a high there, 0.08 is a high there. You can see it. 0.08 is a high there, and then 0.08 is a high there, and then they start to dip. All right, right there, right after noon. We had a trend day. They kind of held it together on the 15-minute chart till about 1:30, but after that they kind of gave it up. So you had up until roughly, you can see right there, till about 12:30 right there. That became the apex or the peak of today's price movement. Not bad price movement. I mean, from 741.5 clear on up to, let's see how high we got there today. We got 756.5. All right, so we needed 756.80 to fill the gap. We didn't quite get it, but we did get the 757. What was it? The gamma, the call wall. If the call wall ever was at 757, I think it was. I know it was at 755, and then it jumped to 760. I'm not sure if it came back to 757 or even 756. But anyways, beautiful uptrend right there. Traded that. And like I said, I got a big head start this morning because price gapped up, I mean, come on, this $9 gap, $8.50 gap makes it easy for me to grab 100% on 100%. If it hadn't have done that, I don't think I could have done 100% on 100%. It probably would have got a couple goals and that's it. All right, but with the huge gap, I got a nice start on the day buying those protective calls, and I did say I was buying protective calls back here on Friday. Yeah, right here. Okay, so SPY price, I'm looking at this going up. Okay, is bullish. I plan to hold protected calls over the weekend, so bullish call spread is what I will hold. So it's no secret. I shared it in the room what I wanted to do, and it's also, I also, my positions are always an open book right there for everybody to see. So there's no secrets for anybody right there. So, all right. So into the close, what do we got? Well, we do really have a 10-minute downtrend. Okay. We're still bullish. Okay. It's just sloping down now. Okay. If it was a little bit more horizontal, I'd feel better about calling it bullish consolidation. But we didn't pull back fast enough and bounce fast enough. So this gonna get the label of 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Okay. I wish it would have just come down, hit the VWAP and then just bounce like a big red rubber ball, But it didn't. It just did the slow melt like this. It just slow. I mean, they took all day to come down to VWAP, okay, which was not far away. So I'm just going to have to call it a 10-minute downtrend. And we got space between the 3 and the 8 right here, and they're now printing candles underneath the VWAP. Not liking that at all for the future, especially for tomorrow and Wednesday. Okay, by the way, Wednesday we got a main event. We got FOMC is going to make an announcement. That's the new federal chairman. I think that's they meet as a committee and then they make a decision as to whether there's rate hikes or not. I still think there's a lot of uncertainty over there in the Middle East. Maybe we got 2 days of boats flowing so far, but I think they probably are going to want to see more. Even though we've got an agreement going on, I think if I was them, I would want at least a little bit more confirmation other than the last 5 seconds. Everything looks clean and clear. I think I'd want a little bit more. But we'll see what they got to say because they'll come on at 2:30 on Wednesday and kind of back up their decision as to why they believe they should not raise rates or why they should raise rates. Okay, so or rate cuts, why they should do rate cuts or why they didn't do a rate cut. Okay, that'll be probably more of the verbiage. Why we didn't do a rate cut. Okay, so we'll see. All right, so there's SPY on the 10-minute. All right, 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Got 15 minutes left. 2 hour. 2 hours still in an uptrend. You can see the sticks and the 3 are riding up over the 8 EMA. This is the 8, this thin white line right there. And the 3 EMA is this thin yellow line. I can turn the VWAP off, so you really don't need to see that. Kind of gets in the way of you visualization here. So we got daylight between 3 and the 8. It's another bullish move up, continuation of the bullish move. So that's holding that higher ground all the way up there instead of coming all the way back and doing the gap fill. So again, 2 hour uptrend coming into the close. On the daily chart, big space there. Higher high, higher low, closed over bullish cross, closed over wavy 17, all right, and closed, well, we're darn near the top of where we had all-time highs here, okay? So nice work on SPY after the triple bottom. We had a triple top, And then we got a triple bottom, and you got the reversal right after the triple bottom. So here's daily. We're still bullish up here. All right, I'm going to put the quad lines on there, and we're going to drag them all the way back to, well, here's the origin of the move back here on March. And let's slide this over just a little bit and drag this out. Okay, so you can see we're at the top of quadrant 4, so we're still bullish. All right, up there at the top. And we are still in an uptrend. That was just a pullback in an uptrend. That is not a downtrend. That was a pullback in uptrend. They do have a higher low. Now, if they take that low out, all right, in other words, they get below that low, that will be a downtrend. Okay, but right now, this is simply a pullback in the uptrend, the same as this one, pullback in the uptrend. All right, that's daily chart. So we're bullish in an uptrend daily. Same on the weekly. Same on the monthly. Okay, let's take a look at QQQ. What calls did I buy Friday and expiration? I bought these right here, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I bought the 750 calls, 3 days till expiration, and I think I bought 10, and I think I sold 5 against it of the 753 calls right there. Okay, those are the ones I bought. On the puts, I had a ratio spread in which I sold I sold 10 puts, all right, against my 7 long puts. You can see right there, it's $5,000 right there just from selling those puts, you know, because the puts came down, so you sell them, you make money on those. And I had some 1 DT, no, I didn't have any 1 or 2s. I had some, so I had the 3 DTEs, I had the puts, and then I had some 0 DTEs, okay? So I had purchased the 750 calls long and sold the 753 short, all right? But let's say if I had 10 of these, I only sold 5 of those short. If I had 10 of these, I sold like 5 short right there, okay? On those, so long on the 750s and short on the 753s. So 3 days, and well, when I bought them, they were 3 days till expiration here. Here they were, I think, 7 days till expiration at that time, or 6. Okay, because these should expire Thursday. All right, so I just walked into money this morning. All right, so I had the zeros and these were really 3 DTE because it was Friday, and they were doing an expire today on Monday, and these were really 6 DTEs because they were going to expire Thursday because we're off Friday. All right, so they, you know, we went through 3 days of the weekend, so right there I you know, you lose 3 days, so there would have been 6 DTEs at the time right there. And then I did the puts as well. Okay. All right, so on QQQ, let's go to see QQQ. I wanted to answer his question. Okay, QQQ, let's take a look at it on the 10-minute chart. QQQ had an awesome day. Again, look at QQQ gapping up from, let's just call it 721.5, clear on up to, well, we'll call it 730. Call it 737. All right, so big gap up, and then they trade up another like that. So on QQQ, I'm going to call this bullish consolidation. All right. I mean, it's up and over to the right. It's not dipping off here. Okay. So I'm going to call this bullish consolidation into the close. Notice there's no slope. All right. And, it's not quite an uptrend. There's no daylight between the 3 and the 8 up here. Okay. So bullish consolidation on the 10-minute, on the 2-hour. You can see the sticks in the 3. We got daylight between the 2. So we have 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. On the daily candle, just like SPY, we've got, again, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish cross. That's when the 3 EMA crosses over the 8, over a bullish cross, up clear up to the top, quadrant 4 up here. Okay, so that's bullish and in an uptrend. They have not made lower lows yet. Okay, this was a pullback in an uptrend. This was a pullback in an uptrend. The only difference is this one went under the 17. This one did not. So now if they cut underneath this candle tail right there, all right, with price, that will be a downtrend on QQQ. All right, so QQQ bullish and in an uptrend on the monthly and the weekly. There's the weekly, there's the monthly, and the daily. All right, and then we just saw a 2-hour in an uptrend right there. Okay, so QQQ having a great day. IWM, all right, which had a great day the other day. Today, having another great day. New all-time high for IWM. We'll look at it on the daily candle. Okay, you can see higher low, higher high. New all-time high for IWM. Obviously, making new all-time highs, you're going to be bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, for IWM. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow having an awesome day as well. Look at that. New all-time high for Diamond Dow. Okay, so bullish and in an uptrend. All right, it's hard not to be bullish in an uptrend when you're making new all-time highs. Okay, now we look at FNGU, which had a pretty good day today. All right, notice they're no longer in, they're back into the upper third up here. Okay, so closing up top here. So that's going to be bullish right there. But they haven't made any higher highs. So we've got a low here that shoots below the 17. They made a lower low. So they're bullish and in a downtrend. All right. Difference is they made a triple bottom and they're not moving down. They're actually melting up or over to the right. So FNGU is bullish up here, but still in a downtrend. All right. And the only way they break that is taking out this all-time high. So we'll see if they got it in them. All right. So first, you got to get over the all-time high anchored VWAP. But they came up and tagged it today. Okay. So maybe a little consolidation underneath it and maybe a rally up over it after a couple of days here. We'll see. Okay. So that's FNGU on the daily chart. Okay. So bullish because we're in the upper third, still in the downtrend because they have not made a higher high. Okay, so that's FNGU. Let's take a look at silver and gold. All right, silver, higher low, higher high, closing over a bearish trap, but under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Silver was down here in quadrant 2, now back up to quadrant 3, bottom of quadrant 3. That's going to be neutral and in a downtrend because we got a low here and we got a low here and we made lower lows. Okay, you can actually see most recently we've made lower lows. See all these lows, all of these lows, these two lows here, and we're lower than all of that. So we're still in a downtrend until we take out and make a new higher high. This is the first high that comes to, so they're going to have to beat out the falling 17, beat out the all-time high anchored VWAP, and take that peak out in order to negate the downtrend that they're currently in on the daily chart. There's silver, okay? So neutral and still in a downtrend. Gold, not in the upper third. Didn't quite make it, okay? But a higher low and a higher high. Closed over a bearish trap under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. No longer in the upper third of the quad lines, okay? So this is quadrant 1, 2. This is 3. That's 4. We're not in the upper third up here, okay? So we're just neutral, all right? And we've also in a downtrend, because look at the low we made. We beat out all these lows over here. So neutral downtrend. Same for gold and silver. Let's take a look at USO. USO kind of falling out of bed due to, I think the oil situation may be coming to an end, and we could see some falling prices. We'll see. Lower high, lower low. No longer in the upper third. Okay. Closing, making a lower low, okay? There's a low. We made a lower low. Closing under a bearish trap under the fading 17 EMA. So it's in the middle of quadrant 3, so that's going to be neutral. And you can see two lows here. We made a lower low and in a downtrend for USO. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG got an outside day. It's a higher high. It's a lower low. We closed over... No, inside a bearish trap, but over the flat 17. We're in the middle of quadrant 1 for UNG. All right, so that's going to be bearish. And we haven't made lower lows yet. Okay, so we're still in an uptrend. It's a dysfunctional uptrend because we seem to be moving down and to the right than we are moving up and to the right. Okay, so there's UNG. US dollar index. Well, we'll hit that after we do technicals. Okay, look at the market participation increasing again today. Could be that SpaceX IPO. I don't know what it is, but I like it. That's a bullish sign right there. That looks bullish going into the close. T2122. I don't like the idea that we fell out of the overbought zone or the buy zone, only to wind up closing the day in the buyer's chop zone. I would have preferred them hold the higher ground. You know how we like that. It's not doing that. That's a neutral sign for me. Okay, number one, we're bullish. It's bullish because we're above the 50-yard line. But look at the direction. All right, it's not, we left off, this direction was over to the right. That was Friday. Now this is Monday, and look at the direction is down. Okay, now if they can hold it together up, through this trend line right here, and hold it together up here in the buyer's chop zone, or maybe even spike the seller's chop zone, but reverse out of there, back up into the buyer's chop zone, that would be bullish, but we haven't seen that yet. They haven't come down that far yet, but I don't like the direction. It's pointed down, all right? So I'm going to call it a neutral clue going into tomorrow. So we got a bullish clue here, okay? Increase in participation, market breadth. We got a neutral clue here. Let's check out T2123. Bullish gap up. Love that. Another bullish clue right there. Okay, bullish gap up. Bears can't fill the gap. They sure are trying to get it done before the close. They got a minute left. We'll see what happens. Making a higher high. Love that. Okay, so put the quad lines on there, and you're going to find you're up in quadrant 4. That's bullish. Look how close we came to the all-time highs. Okay, not quite the price action we like, go up and come down. Kind of like it when it goes up and stays up. But darn near taking out the all-time highs up here. Okay, so that's bullish. We're up over the wavy 200 SMA. That's bullish. That's exactly where you want to be if you're a bull. You're at the top of quadrant 4. That's definitely bullish. You haven't made lower lows, so you're bullish and in an uptrend. T2123 15-minute chart, 3-bar chart again. Okay, Here's a low. We failed to make lower lows. We could have, if this had to come down here and made a lower low. We would have had a downtrend, but we couldn't do it. So it was a pullback in the uptrend. So we're still up in the middle. Up here, quadrant 4. You can see quadrant 4 up here. So, and we're over the rising 200. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. All right, we're up over here in quadrant 4. So we're bullish, not making lower lows. So we retain that uptrend status right there. T2123, FNGU. Bullish gap up. Look at this. Hold the higher ground and melt up at the same time. Look at finishing the day at the high of the day at the end of the day. I mean, that spells bullishness all over it. I mean, it stinks of bullishness. When you finish the day at the high of the day at the end of the day, that's just good. All right, FNGU. Bullish gap up. Bears never got a hold of it all day long. Up over the falling 200 SMA. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. Up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. Up here in the upper third. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. Okay, so that's bullish up there. And in an uptrend, you got some highs. They made higher highs. That's bullish in an uptrend for FNGU on the 15. All right, US dollar index. Okay, we got this, we got this 6-month downtrend, all right, on the daily chart. Price making lower highs and lower lows. And then we transition into this 10-month bear flag. You see, like this is June. Well, we're almost in June. I think we are in June. Yeah, we're in June here, 12 months later. All right, here we are in the same channel. All right, with our dinghy. All right. And we're trying to break out, and we tried here to break out, and we missed, and we tried here, and we failed, and we tried here and here, and we got shot down, and then we tried here and here, and we got stuffed, and then we tried here and here, and we still got rejected, okay? So, you know what? I'm in no rush for the dollar to go up, okay? I like a cheap dollar. With this cheap dollar, it helps those companies from the USA gain market share. All right, I like it because it doesn't cost the buyers as much of their currency to buy our products, so it makes us more competitive. So I kind of like the weak dollar. I'm in no rush for it to break back up into this consolidation area right here. Okay, I like it when the top line increases. And most of that top line increase comes down to the bottom line. I kind of like that when it comes to earnings. All right, so there's U.S. dollar index right there. All right, that's it. Nice day for FNGU into the end of the day. That's going to make a nice day for the QQQ into the end of the day. If you want to see what QQQ looks like in the end of the day, I'll put it on a 10-minute. And QQQ went a little too far. Yep. Bullish consolidation into the close. Okay, FNGU. Look at that. Bullish consolidation into the close. SPY. Kind of meh. Not really there. It's kind of sloping down. It is bullish. All right, it is holding up over this consolidation. It's got a little slope to it. You know what I'm saying? It's got a little bit more slope than I want. All right, but and there's enough space underneath to call it a downtrend. And if you squint real hard, you can see some daylight between the 3 and the 8. Okay, so kind of hard to call it bullish consolidation when you can see some daylight there between the 3 and the 8. All right, so Google, NVIDIA, and QQQ. Second half of the day, yeah. You can see that. I'm going to get to you, Robert. You can see that clearly on T2123 right here. I mean, you can see clearly. I mean, we go from green, hey, we're looking good, we're looking good, we're looking good. What the heck happened here? Right there, see? Almost straight into the gap fill. Right there. And, well, you know, the SPY has 500, you know, securities inside it, okay? The NASDAQ only has 100. Well, you take another 400 securities and they start doing that, you know, kind of performance, and you get that pull down right there. So there's T2123 showing what's going on with the SPY right there. A little prelude to the SPY. All right, back to the game plan. Push this up. Stay up there. Save it. Don't come down. Stay up there. Okay, so there's SPY. All in all, not bad. Look at this. This, you know, I think we are going to close over VWAP. Right on top, right smack on top of VWAP right there. You know, that's not bad, moving up and then over to the right. Just, you can see some daylight there. All right, let's take a look at Google on the daily chart. Let's pick up a clean one. And let's look at Google. You want the one with the L. Okay. Google with the L. That's a bull flag. See this right here? This is what I love. Price pulls back to minor support right there. Not major support, minor support. And is now J-hooking off of it. Look at that. That's bullish right there. That's what I like. It's looking good. It's really looking good. I don't like the red ones, but hey, it didn't hold the higher ground the whole time. But they filled gap, okay. And then they got the minor support right through here. But they're moving up. So I like that, okay. I want to see them get on top of, see that wick where the wick went high today. I want to see them get up on top of that 373 number and hold. Okay, so it might take a few days to get up there, and I'd like to see it hold for 3 or 4 days once they get up there. But it is moving up, and it is bullish, and it's you know, well, let's put the quad lines on there. Okay, so you can see we're in the upper third. So we're bullish, and you're still in it. You're still in an uptrend. All right, you don't have any lows over here under the 17. Okay, so this is a pullback and an uptrend. That's actually a bull flag. Okay, and you're up in the upper third. Okay, it may take some time. All right. Hey, I'm going to tell you guys, I don't know about Amazon, but I got groceries from Amazon the other day. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten groceries from Amazon, but they do a darn good job at it. I mean, if I was Publix or anybody else, I'd be scared. And it's free delivery if you got $25. All right, yeah, Walmart, yeah. Yeah, but you gotta be in the Plus program, all right, which you do have to pay for, and it's same with Amazon. You got to be in Prime, but I love it. I mean, I don't, and they deliver it like pretty darn fast, without squawking, and I gotta tell you, I mean, if I'm a grocery chain, I can really foresee Amazon putting some of these grocery chains out of business. Well, put a hurt on them as far as earnings go. I mean, the idea that I can get my coffee and my half and half and my coffee filters, in the morning, before 7 o'clock. That's a beautiful thing. I just find it amazing. And supposedly they're going to start with the drone deliveries. That'll be interesting too. All right, Google is bullish and in an uptrend, Robert, on that one. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, on Q. Okay, Q is still bullish and in an uptrend. You got a triple top here, okay? So I'd be watching this one like a hawk, all right? Not like a dove, like a hawk, all right? With that triple top up there, all right? So it's bullish and it's in an uptrend. Let's take the March lows. Let's put the quad lines on it. Okay, right here. Okay, you're up here in quadrant 4. That's bullish up there. And you're still in an uptrend. Actually, you're still in a downtrend because you got a low here and you made a lower low, all right? And you just made a higher high. Okay, so now you just converted the uptrend right there. See that peak? So you're in an uptrend now. So that's bullish and in an uptrend based on that candle. Now they got a hold up here, all right? So you've got a triple top. I'd be watching this one like a hawk right here. I would need it to hold 3-4 days, all right? A little bit longer than just 2 days or 3 days. See, 2 days hold and then flush. 3 days hold, then flush, okay? So we need this to hold more than 3 days, okay, up here. Day 1, that's good, okay? So we need 3 more days added on to that. Either that or keep moving up, all right? You either got to keep moving up or hold up here for longer than this, because obviously this didn't work, all right? So like I said, this is one of those ones you're going to have to watch it like a hawk because you don't want to lose this 154 area, okay? Definitely don't want to lose the 154 area, okay? But it's bullish, and they're due to today's price action, they're in an uptrend. All right, so that's that one. That's the Q. Well, there's one other one, NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA got the looking like a crown there. Okay. Put the quad lines on there. Okay, they're just neutral. Okay, they're almost bullish. They are knocking on the door, but neutral, and they're still in a downtrend. See the low? They made a lower low. So neutral and still in a downtrend. So that's where it's at. All right, they're knocking on the door. If they could close up here one more day, they're close to being in the upper third. I mean, we could give it to them, but let's kind of, go on the other side of it. Make them work for it, because we don't want to get duped. That's the last thing we want to do is get duped. And why weren't these candles bigger? Okay, that's a good question. They're capable of producing some good-sized candles. Why are these candles not bigger than that? That was a pretty decent candle because it came from here, but that one was not. All right. So let's not give them anything. Make them work for it. Make them earn it. It's just borderline neutral bullish right there, and still in a downtrend until they make a higher high on that one. Okay, so they got a little bit more work to do. Based on the pullback, they're not even over the 50-yard line based on this pullback here. And if I drag this out further, right there, they're all the way down here near the bottom of quadrant 2. So if I include that, so not ready yet. Has potential, all right, but just not there yet. Okay, it's close. Like they stuck their head up out of the turret and they're looking around to see if they see any enemy, all right, around them. They got the tank turret. They can look up, looking around. They just stuck their head up right now. Okay, so they need to get up there and commit to the area. All right, not quite. Want to see them get up there, commit to, we own this ground and this is ours. And they haven't done that yet, all right? And they're still in a downtrend. So there's NVIDIA. Next guy says SMH and SOXL, great days. SMH probably hitting new all-time highs. Yeah, SMH right there, new all-time highs. Awesome days. Totally agree with you, Gene. All right, SOXL. Oh, yeah, nice day. Not quite the day SMH had, but it's there. All right, it's there. Excellent. He likes EEM. Isn't that emerging markets? EEM. Yeah, that's oh, inside it. Okay. So emerging markets holds this inside them. It's good to know. Tex, thanks for sharing that. Let's see what else we got. Walmart delivers. You get mine for free. Awesome, John. Thank me. Thanks. You're welcome, Robert. It's a cheaper play. Thank you, Tex. Marvell, strong. Yes. That's in my watch list. That's on my watch list. Where's my watch list? Here it comes. It's coming up. It's right here. Right there, Marvell. Yep. SNDK had a breakout. Okay. I mentioned that this morning as well. Let's go look at both of those. SNDK. Okay. So 2 days ago, see the top? We had a breakout. A little follow through. Another breakout again today. So SNDK. This one had a dash on it on Friday. I don't know if you caught it, but it had a dash breaking out. And I had a dash on it, I think, the day before for breakout. So SNDK breaking out right there. Marvell. Okay, Marvell should get a star. Okay, because see how it's recovered? It's broke the downtrend now. You have a little downtrend right here. Okay, so breaking the downtrend. All right, so it gets a star on tomorrow's watch list. All right, because it's now going to start to build out a bull flag. Okay, that bull flag's holding together now. And then we'll look for follow through on that for a breakout to the upside. Okay, so Marvell, yes, Marvell's looking awesome up there. Looking for a breakout on Marvell. I like the fact that it broke the downtrend line. That was nice. Right there. Okay, broke the downtrend line. All right, now we just need it to hold. Hold it together. Don't lose it. Okay, don't lose your lunch. Right there. Okay, we're dealing with the sword. See the sword right here? If we can take out the business end of that sword, hold that higher ground. Okay, we're just over the top of it at the closing. It's imperative tomorrow that we keep moving up, not come back underneath the business end of the sword. Otherwise, we're going to get slayed and come back down. Okay, so there's Marvell looking good, taking out the tip of the sword there. What's next? Yes, SanDisk. Yes, it's a good one. Did you see it on the watch list, Sharon? Wolf doing great. Wolf. Yeah, breakout. Wolf got the breakout right there. Yep, look at that. Nice breakout over the top. Okay, so now we need it to hold right up there. Right there. Way to go, Sharon. All right. Hope you get the follow through on all that. Yep, on the SanDisk. Way to go. I'm happy for you. Yes. All right, so we need tomorrow to be bullish. And I got to tell you, looking at SPY one more time, it's looking better. That didn't look like quite the downtrend, but of course I was squinting my eyes, looking for the daylight underneath here. That's nice consolidation right through there. All right, it had a little bit of a slope earlier, but seemed to have recovered. Where are we at now? 754. Yeah, we were down here flirting with 753. Okay, that was not helping us. Back up here, 755. I like it. I like it when it's over VWAP. Lion. Okay, that's a bull flag. You see it up and over. You got a double top here. I don't like that, and I don't like that. But I do like price recovering right there. So let's go back. Why am I on a 10-minute chart? Okay. I was on a 10-minute chart. Okay, let's take it from right here. Okay, you're in the upper quadrant. That's bullish up there. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. You've got the stakes in the 3 up over the 8. So you've got daylight between the 2. So that's bullish. You have not made a lower low, so that's still in an uptrend up there. You've got, if you want to just quickly summarize it, you've got consolidation over prior consolidation. That's a bullish environment. I like this to break out. I think this goes higher. I think, all right? It's got that bullish look. It's got that curve right there. It's consolidating in quadrant 4. I like that. I like the higher low. I just want to see the bulls get inspired to make that higher high. Today was a nice bullish day. Why they gave you a doji, I don't know. Maybe they're saving it all up for tomorrow. I don't know. But I like that. That's looking good. I think you get a breakout pretty soon here, maybe within 5 days. Hopefully before the next week. All right, look, that's looking good. I like it. Right there, I like that. It's up at the all-time highs. I like the curve. I like the higher low. I think you get a higher high out of that one. Right there. And I like that you're back up here on the right up leaning on resistance. Okay, that's looking good for a higher high. Well, actually for a new all-time high. Yeah, for a new all-time high on that one. And you got consolidation. That's a bullish environment right there. I like it. Yeah, daily looks good. Weekly, you're up here at new all-time high, so weekly better look good. Yeah, you're looking good there, and you're looking good there. Yeah, I think you get another push to the upside. It's either going to do one. It's either going to challenge and fail, or it's going to challenge and succeed. And by the looks of it, I think you're juiced to. Look at all this. That's institutional buying, right through here. I think you got a strong chance of succeeding for a new all-time high for that one on Lion. Okay. Right there. I like when I see this on the daily chart, up over 30. Okay, that's institutional buying. That means they're buying the dip. Okay? That's a buy the dip right there. So the reason you're going to buy the dip is because you're going to make it go higher. So I think there's a strong chance that goes higher. All right? All right, traders, looking for more bullishness. Follow through tomorrow. All right, Q's did beautiful. FNGU did beautiful. SPY did beautiful. And look at Diamond Dow and IWM, new all-time highs. Okay, everything is looking beautiful unless somebody sends a rocket into somebody else's territory. We should be looking good for tomorrow. Okay? Unless some idiot hits the red button, we should be good. All right, traders. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock.